Not every enemy carries a sword. Some attack with words, others with silence. Some cut you down with a smile. And that's exactly why today, I won't show you how to fight. I'll show you how to win without fighting. The Stoics knew that the true enemy is not always the other person, but your reaction to them. The strongest people are not those who control others. The strongest people are those who control themselves, even under pressure, in anger, or in pain. Today, I'll give you 8 explosive Stoic ideas to defeat any enemy without ever losing your dignity. 1. The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor and Stoic who ruled with a sword in hand, but believed that the fiercest battle is fought within. When someone hurts you, your brain activates its defense patterns. Mirroring. Retaliation. Revenge. It has a reaction of the limbic system, the primitive part of your brain that doesn't take care if you are attacked by a bear or insulted by a manipulator. But if you answer with the same rage, you don't destroy your enemy, you become them. You inherit their hatred, their chaos, their logic. This is the trap of the ego. Do to them what they did to you. But the Stoic says, stay clean. Even if the other falls, true revenge is not letting them change you. You don't sink, you don't bend, you don't lose yourself. You gain respect, maybe even your own too. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus was a slave who became one of the greatest teachers of freedom, the freedom of the mind. This quote isn't just philosophy, it's a manual for psychological self-defense. Your mind interprets everything, your boss's expression, the tone of your partner's message, the silence in a room. Your brain searches for threat, even when it's not there. You're not hurt by what someone said, you're hurt by what you thought it meant. And that's where the Stoic finds power. You don't have to control the world, you just have to control how you see it. The enemy may try to provoke you, but you can choose to see their actions not as a threat, but as an attempt to gain power over you. And suddenly, they lose the power. This is the strength of the Stoic, to hold your frame, your level, your calm, even when everyone else is losing theirs. 3. When someone insults you, look deeper, see their wound. Seneca was a Roman philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero. He lived surrounded by power and betrayal, but taught peace and reflection. When someone insults you, your first instinct is defense or attack, but Seneca tells you to do something far more powerful. Understand. Not out of pity, but out of strategy. An insult isn't power, it's a scream from a wounded person. A person who doesn't know how to deal with their own pain, and so they throw it at others. When you realize this, you gain distance. You're no longer fighting an equal. You're facing someone who doesn't even understand themselves. And you don't need to destroy them. You just need to stay out of their chaos. If you believe that people's anger often comes from pain, comment the word perspective. Because when you have perspective, you don't need to strike back. You already hold the advantage of calm. 4. He who controls himself is stronger than he who conquers others. Publilius Syrus. Publilius Syrus was a Roman writer known for short truths that cut deep and last forever. Most people think strength is about controlling others, but the truth is the opposite. If you can't control yourself, you're a slave to your emotions. You might win the argument, silence the other person, demand respect through fear. But if you're full of anger, impulses, and chaos, you haven't won anything. You're still ruled by something weaker than you. Self-control is leadership over your inner world. It means your strength follows your reason, not your ego. And that's real power. Not the kind that ends with victory, but the kind that builds your character. 5. Anger is an acid that does more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Seneca wasn't just a philosopher. He was a master of human emotion. And here, he delivers a warning we all need to hear. Anger is not your power. It's your poison. Anger feels like strength, like energy, like control. But psychologically, anger is self-destructive. It starts burning you before it touches anyone else. It might give you the fire to speak, but it steals your judgment, your peace, your clarity. That's why the Stoic doesn't suppress anger. He studies it, because where there's anger, there's pain. And where there's pain, there's a story. Not every story has to be yours. Some stories you simply let go. Controlling your anger doesn't mean weakness. It means you command your own mind. 6. Some battles you win by not playing. Marcus Aurelius paraphrased. Marcus Aurelius led armies, ruled an empire, and yet reminded himself daily, stay calm. Let others scream. The ego always wants to step into conflict. You feel the need to defend your name, your truth, your dignity. But not every fight is worth your energy. Some arguments drain you. Some explanations lead nowhere. Some people don't want answers. They want power. The Stoic knows silence can be louder than shouting. Refusing the battle shows them they have no control over you. You are not moved by their anger. You are not shaped by their words. You walk away, not because you're weak, but because you've already won. Because when you hold your ground in silence, you starve the conflict of oxygen, and you walk out with your peace intact. 7. If you stay silent and endure, your enemy will destroy himself. Cato the Younger. Cato the Younger was a Roman senator, a Stoic, and a man who refused to bow, even to Caesar. He died with dignity rather than live without principle. His silence was not weakness. It was unbreakable will. Most people expect a reaction, a fight, a defense. But when you stay silent, you take away their weapon. You don't need to shout. You don't need to explain. You just stand calm present and watch as they unravel under the weight of their own anger, manipulation, or lies. That's not cowardice. That's control. In psychological terms, some conflicts die out when you stop fueling them. Your calm becomes a mirror, and they begin to suffocate in their own reflection. If you believe that sometimes the strongest move is silence, write the word endurance in the comments. Because those who endure often never need to attack, they win anyway. 8. Anyone who can disturb your peace controls you. Epictetus reminds us that real power isn't about who you control. It is about who you allow to control you. If someone can throw you off with one look, one comment, one insult, that's not just tension. That's domination. And your peace is the price. Your calm is not weakness. It's a sign that your emotions belong to you and not to them. When you master your reactions, you take away their main weapon. Suddenly, you're no longer in a fight. You're simply holding your line while they lose theirs. You've just heard 8 Stoic ways to defeat your enemy without shouting, without fighting, without losing yourself. Real victory isn't about who you break. It is about who you refuse to become. You win when you don't mirror their hatred. You win when you don't feed their chaos. You win when you stay exactly as you are, clear, calm, and anchored. The Stoics didn't teach you how to fight. They taught you how to outlast. And today, that's what you did. If you believe calm is your greatest strength, write the word Stoic in the comments. Because in a world full of noise, true power is quiet. Like this video if it made sense to you. Share it with someone who's always fighting and might need to finally stop. And subscribe if you want more content that doesn't flatter you, but strengthens you.